And this is what I always do to anchor myself in reality. First and foremost, let me just introduce myself. I'm what you call a target individual, and I knew I was that since 2020. What led me to understand that this was bigger than what I thought was on August 2019. I just was no longer myself. Disturbing things started happening to my brain and made it clear that something foreign was doing that to me, in regard of like it was not just me having some kind of psychological breakdown. I started dealing with what you call voice to skull, and this was this technology that pipes voices in your brain. And I initially, of course, knew like this is definitely governmental kind of thing, but I didn't know how big of what it was. It was just, when you first experience these things, you are in a level of confusion that's not even understandable, because this is just so surreal and sounds almost fictional. And when they do that to you, they ensure that you know that this is not you going crazy. You almost wish it's just you just having like some kind of psychological breakdown. You almost hope that that's that, because then you can medicate yourself. But they kept making sure that you are aware that this is not you going crazy. And it's you later on you find out that, okay, this is part of something disturbing and sinister that impacts men, women, and children all around the world. And you find out later, and that's what I did, that you're not unique in what's happening to you, and people much more vulnerable than you are going through this. And then you start understanding, oh my goodness, this is something that's been ongoing for years and decades. And things are done systematically. The tactics are the same. They do a few changes here and there, but it's so familiar in regard of like what they do to others. They make sure that they have the same tactics. And when you hear what they do to others, it's like familiarity. It's like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what they're doing to me. And they utilize these participants who are definitely not the architecture of this. It seems like they're just like their job is to maintain a level of stupidity, so you can go to that level of stupidity for you to identify with this. And they do these things to you that are clear alteration of your mind, clear, as obvious as it gets. There's no covering the fact that your brain is drastically changing or changed to attack your mind. But they also have people around you, or not even around you, people that sound like they're around you, wanting you to rationalize this clear manipulation of your mind and identify with this manipulation. And it becomes a lot of theatrics. And it seems the technology is so advanced that anybody can participate, from the most unimpressive to the most impressive one. But at the end of the day, all of them have to behave, have to rationalize things in ways that are just clear, almost like mental regression at a high level, but while maintaining this state of seriousness that's supposed to make you accept this stupidity. But because they sound this logical when they speak about it, it's supposed to override rationality, right? And so you deal with them and you see these people just wanting to be like taken serious in the fucking retardation that they want you to identify with. And it's part of gaslighting. That's what gaslighting is. Gaslighting is really just like trying to make somebody accept something that's fully mentally regressed. But if you maintain this composure and say in this certain way, you can just almost override rationality by the way you behave. So with me, that's what they're doing. But the results are not the same, because I'm looking at them for the clowns that they're supposed to be. And I look at them straight in the face like, I know why you're acting this fucking retarded. I don't care how you say these things. I don't care how you project these things. whatever composure you have, whatever demeanor you have, however you present it. I see you for the clown that's supposed to make me subscribe to that, and I see you for what you truly are. You're not gonna erase and override reality with your fucking behaviors. Excuse my language. But I understand that, and I make a point of it, that you're gonna collide with reality when you see me. I promise you. And some of the things they say is like, no, it's gonna be our reality. Nope, you're gonna deal with reality. And I promise you, I'm gonna put the mirror that you've been dodging around in your face. Like I've been saying in many of my videos, I put that in the face. You can see them just trying to like dodge it. I've been saying that in my videos, and I'm gonna continue to do that. So when you come here, try to project reality onto me. Nope. You're gonna see what you're doing, and you see yourself for who you are, what you're part of, not for this fantasized reality you put together. It's funny, some earlier person say, mirror, because I've been saying mirror a lot of time. I've been saying, like, I've been describing that what I do in my videos, and if you watch a lot of my videos, as I describe, I want to put that in their faces, what they're truly part of, and you watch them try to escape that. So to try to negate that's like, no, mirror, and try to like negate what I'm saying here. It's a lot of psychological game, but from some childlike individual, with the tantrum of childlike individual, but the seriousness, the foulness that you can't even imagine of atrocities. That I will not let them go into their fucking tantrum like deluded, childish ways of trying to cover that up. Never. They're gonna take the seriousness of what they're part of. That they actually what they're part of deserve death. They deserve to die for what they're part of, and they want to minimize that. And I refuse to let them do that. They can come there. They can come with their energy of fake fanaticness to override reality, and I will not allow that. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to be aggressive or attack them or anything like that, but let's just say I will not allow them to just go into their fantasy, no matter how they behave. Sometimes, to blur how foul they are, they make themselves sound so childish, like, yeah, they do. They make themselves talking childish, like, you are not going to childish your way into recreating reality. I don't care who you bring. I don't care your little repetition things you think you're just going to negate that. You're not going to bring your regress ways of trying to... No, none of that's going to be blurred. Reality is going to be put in your face, and you're going to have to dodge it. And I'm not even going to let that dodge. In this program, you'll find out soon, once you figure out that this is something larger than what's happening to you, that some of the people being tormented are the most vulnerable you can imagine. Babies, infants, women, children, going through horrible things, sufferings of all sorts, and listening to these clowns, inclusive of children or childlike individual, fighting everything, negating everything to force the test subject to just neglect how horrible they are to the most vulnerable, inclusive of children, try to do that. Thinking that if I behave in a childish way, the test subject, the target individual, will not think of how we do this mean evilness to even infants. Having childish clowns, doing everything possible to box this out. Till my last breath, all the participants in this program doing these things to me will not escape from what they're part of. That mirror that they've been dodging, they will not dodge it. If they want to collide in person, I will be sure to put that in their faces. Till my last breathing moment, I will not let even the most immature freaking trash who found identity in find empowerment in negating what they do to women and children, have made themselves sound as innocent as possible. Because what happens in this game is all about, this program is about a perception game of trying to make me, the target individual, perceive them as these people not involved in the same program that torture women and children. protectors of children. For all these who've been playing this innocent like individual, who've been acting so fierce and brave and bold enough to be involved in a program that torture women and children, but as part of this, their braveness, they're so avenging that they'll be involved in something that does such evil things to women and children because they want to make me pay. From this clown little retard thing that I'm gonna let them be in this groom trashy low life shit. Who think that their childish tones gonna block that out. I promise you, I know evil can come in all shape and form. They're not evil, they're nothings. They're little bottom feeders involved in a program that does such evil to even babies. And their job is to kind of cover that evil and present this new evil. I promise you, I will not minimize what you're part of. I will not minimize the evil that you're really part of. No matter if you call it you're evil. And when I hear this childlike participants like, evil. To hear this trash who knows that what her job is to negate the evil of torturing children and women. It even rise. The hatred is even worse than the hatred of those who we torture children. Yeah, and what? But those who's like, evil. Oh. Because what these trash are doing, they want to walk around like they're just not the evil part of the evil that torture babies. This is an example. First of all, today what's happening as a target video, I'm being attacked via this remote technology. They destroy my body. Slowly. Just damaging my body. I'm slowly becoming a handicap. Even my organs are being damaged physically. And they do that, destroy my body slowly in such a slow fashion, which is common in this program. They're slowly destroying the life of target individual. There's even women, there's children who become so sick. Some of them unfortunately have passed. Some of them look like they are about to die, and then somehow you get back to surviving. It's just a slow process of what they're doing to us. They're really maximizing us, target individual as test subject. What this is a program that is utilizing very sophisticated technology, and we're just the guinea pigs that are being utilized to develop this technology. What's presenting to you, I promise you, is just a way to disorient you. It's to try to distort the reality of what this is really about. The diseases, the condition that you get and all that, this is part of this program. Children are dying in this program, are suffering, getting cancers and getting all kind of tumors and whatever else. Women are suffering in this. I promise you that what's projected in front of you is meant to disorient you. It's way more sinister than what you think. I know that a lot of us target individuals see some of the most unimpressive people participate in that, which is also utilized to kind of gaslight you. It's not your next door 14-year-old retard doing that to you. They can participate in that very easily because this is how sophisticated technology is. But I guarantee you, they're not the people really behind what's happening to you. And I know that, I understand that, and I see them as that. But with that being said, this insignificant trash are still participating in evilness that consists of torturing children and women. So when we see each other, when I see with them, although I know there are nothings, that this thing happening to me will happen to me regardless of these clowns being involved or not. I'm not taking away that this insignificant trash are involved in this and still want to cover up the reality of what they do to women and children. I promise you, I truly see them for the insignificant trash involved in a program that torture babies, women. Now, they are also being manipulated via this technology that attack the brain. The target individual have said the same thing. Meaning, with me, they've been doing everything possible to make me identify with the way they just alter my brain. Common things to do. They want you to identify with the way they are rewiring your brain. This is how sophisticated this technology is. This is why they are utilizing human beings in this way. Because we're talking about technology that sounds almost science fictional. That's why when you hear these clowns doing these little disorienting things and the noise campaign and all that, you gotta look at them as like, this little clown really think that I should think that this is anything but this massive government that have been developing technology of altering brain level since the 50s, but I'm supposed to think it's some clown next door living next door to me doing that little research? That's how mentally regressed they really want you to be. The little trash flipping the switches on their in the lights and making all this little tactical noise campaign are the one doing this. You retard low life, you insignificant clown, you will never leave that fantasy. Never. I will see you for the clown that was supposed to distract me from what reality is happening here. That this program is a program led by governmental entities, led by the DOD or those DOD entity-like entities, where human beings, inclusive of babies, are being put in this program, destroyed, and then you as little clowns like you to try to gaslight me and negate that. I promise you, your insignificance is recognized by your foulness too, what you're part of. Come try to disorient me. You're retarded minded. So today they forced me to get this nasty manipulation. I just actually saw there was like every time they do this nasty manipulation, take screenshot. There was like a little kid over there who's dressed in like a traditional African like wear. I don't know if it's a little boy or a little girl, but it was stimulating me because it couldn't go either way. And they're like, "Oh, look, girls is real." When you see little girls, because what's happening is they have this tendency to attack the mind in these degrading ways. They force you to have sexual arousals and stimulations, and then present themselves as protective children. It's like the tactic of we're gonna make it look like this person is a threat to children, by making him have these experiences, and then look like we're just observing these experiences that are not manipulated in him. Using this psychological type of warfare tactics as they're utilizing the test subject to the max while presenting themselves as protectors of children. It's disgusting trash. But the things they do is done to others. So at that point, it loses a little bit of the impact, because if somebody all the way there says the same thing, if some woman saying the same thing, is it not commonly obvious that this is the tactics? Now that's when it comes to this purpose. They're supposed to come and be mentally regressed enough for you to be like at the same level, to be unable to critically think, which at this point is not even critically think. It's just like basic thinking process. Okay, you do these things, you do that to me, I know who I am, and all of a sudden the people who are known to be doing that are not doing that to people, not doing that to me, and utilizing this immaturity, who's supposed to make me think this technology that can do all of these things come from these people. Now this massive government that's been for decades developing technology of this nature, where even children are going through this, and women are testifying and saying the same exact thing, and this is global. You have people in Japan saying the same thing in Japanese. Okay. Not gonna happen. They attack my mind in this way, but it's not unique to me. But they want me to make sense of it. So how they try to make sense of it? What they do is like, okay, what we're doing is just we make your brain regress to you as a child. That what you're experiencing is something that is being mapped to you when you were a child in middle school. That we've turned your brain back to you as a 14-year-old kid, or in 8th grade, 13, 14-year-old, and even younger. And then we're relaying your current brain of an adult to you as a child. And we call that mapping. This is how fucking retarded they want me to be. And they have a whole ecosystem that's supposed to push this stupidity into me. Some very impressive people, some very unimpressive people. The unimpressive people go into the retardation first. They're like the front warrior. They send the most childlike individual to gaslight me. No, we're mapping it. And then the more impressive people are supposed to be like, okay, look at us. We're very smart. We're very analytical. We're just researching. This is the map. I'm like, Jesus, thank you, God. I say thank you, God, because I know how easily it is to be involved in this. Children, very young children are involved in this, can say the same thing. So clearly, anybody can partake in this. And so when I say thank God, I'm like, I could be the little clown there. Be involved in a program where they are killing children, torturing kids, and try to use my most innocent child voice to blur out how disgusting it is, to try to gaslight the test subject to now think about how we torture children. And I could have been one of these child to be like, we're mapping, because I can hear them interact with me and via voice to call. Hearing them say, we mapped it. Let me sound so childish. We mapped it. No. These videos have been helping me to just keep grasp of reality. There's constant effort to try to break me down and to make me identify with this. Clearly, you see it's not happening. But not only I make sure I vocalize it, but I also bring what anchors me to reality in regard to what this thing is about. What anchors me on top of the validation is how horrible they are to men, women, and children. The traumatizing things they do to women. Now with me, what they've been doing, not only they want me to internalize what they do to me, but they also want to paint themselves as some kind of justice seekers. Right? And they're being very fanatical about painting the facade. Sometimes they yell with this passion. It's the passion of like trying to force me to let them be perceived in this way. It's just like being fanatical about covering up reality. It's like, no, come on, we're so mad because we just fucking, excuse my language, but that's just the anger. That's what it makes me want to explode, because I'm like, these people are just so passionate about covering up reality. That's why they behave this way. That's the passion come from. They want to be passionate about making me see them in this protective, justice-seeking phase, or not phase, but for persona. That they're just avenging. That they're passionate. Trash ass. I see through it. You want to fight through the reality that you're involved in a program that torture babies and women like that. And then what they try to do? Covering it up. And try to bring up me as a child. And be like, oh, remember what you did as a kid. I'm so mad. Poof, trash. For all the babies, women, all those suffer, those vulnerable. This evil that you're trying to negate. As I was making this video right now, I said something about phase. Like, oh yeah, that was a phase. So talk about me as a child. Like, yeah. It's no. It's a phase where you torture children. Clown. And send this fucking immature, I call them special forces. They specialize in regressing the mind. They specialize about making somebody retarded. That you will not see the horror of the tortures and go into this freaking retardation of mental battles with clowns whose sole job is to make you dumb enough to not see the things for what they are. Specializing in turning somebody into a mental retard. So they send this fucking immature man-child, woman-child to try to cover up reality. Try to troll you like they troll like children, like in high school. Some trash was like, I'm gonna repent. I was like, I don't give a shit about what you repent. I just want to make sure that when I see your trashiness, I see fully for what you are. Repent or not, I don't care. You're gonna get chose regardless. You think I'm going to let you live your fantasy like you're some fierce? I just want to say, when I see you, to be anchored in the reality of what you're part of. That you play your game, you think you little gaslighting ways of behaving. I understand. You love this thing. I'm not here to change yourself to see yourself. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad. I don't care what you feel. I'm doing that for me. But you do this. Don't be surprised from the effect from that. Don't even surprise yourself. Don't even confuse why I hate you when I see you. Because some of them are even confused. They're so entitled. They're like, but you see how I behave? Like, oh yeah, I'm feel so bad. And then they wonder, oh my gosh, this guy really want to. They even confuse themselves. Like, they confuse on why I see them for the shit that they are. With such hatred. They don't even understand that. I'm like, what kind of human being can be this retarded? You think I was going to let you go into the little fantasized way? Just because you act this in this condescending way? That I'm going to forget this evil that you've been putting so much effort to negate? Okay. This is now, and every time when I bring up the torture of women and children, they're like, oh, it's war. It's like, war. Okay. For the war that consists of torturing women and children, I will see you and hate you for what you are. This is not war. We're just test subjects. The reason why they call it war is because they want to normalize these horrible things. Like, during war we can do that. These clowns, they're in their pajamas. They are here going to get some coffee. Some of them are literally recovering from whatever things they're going through. This war, this is escapism. Some of them are actually dealing with real war issue. Like the war they have is probably like away from this thing. This is an escape. This is the fun part. This is where they get their joy. This is their break from reality. War. This is where you come into to lose focus on the war that you actually deal with in your life. You come here to go into an escapism where you become a god before you go back to your trashy life. Send some trash who have no life in this is the whole life. Feeling special. Never. Now, like I said, for me today, when they make me have this experience, it's like, now we're mapping to you as a child. Making you pay. You're gonna be castrated. It's like, I'll come my own private part before I let you live your fantasy. Because they try to make me think they are doing it to avenge. When I was a child, I did this thing to myself. That was an appropriate act. It never was done again. That they try to exaggerate, to try to make it worse than what it is, because they want to act like they are traumatized. But to this person, when I did this thing to myself, it's like, no, I didn't. But this projection, because what they involved in traumatizes women. Even traumatizes women who were traumatized when they were children. It's so disgusting, but this is a way to anchor the reality, because these trash have the audacity to play justice seekers. So what they've done is make me think of me as a kid and be like, oh, remember what you did? She's trauma, she wants justice, this and that. I'm like, first of all, that's not true. She doesn't even know who I am. They brought up something that I, as a child, completely forgot because I was a child, and then this impossible. It's funny, even today, like they're like, oh, you forgot, huh? Yeah, you forgot what you did when you were in 8th grade, huh? They would say, a grown woman would say, yeah, I forgot what I did last week, huh? Forget that. I forgot it. I forgot what I did when it was in last month. I forgot. I was like, really? You want me to be this mentally retarded? You think I'm going to let you delusion? Look at you, grown-ass woman. Talk about forgot what you did last month to try to bring up me forgetting what I did when I was in middle school. Compromise slow life. I'm going to put that mirror in your face to see how clown like you have to be. Yes. Because when I was a kid, I did this impulsive thing that I completely forgot about. Because I was a child, like children. Like brain was not fully developed like children are. You understand? I was not a grown-ass woman like you who forgot what you did last month. That one thing you don't forget, and you want me to forget, is why you torture women and children in this program. Who knows how many of them are traumatized to the point of killing themselves? I'm going to let trash like you becoming mentally retarded to pay this reality and then send this trash to try to box in the fantasized reality. Never. They even have this childlike participant to try to box in the things they do, right? To disorient me. They want me to think of other things. They tell me today that they're going to frame me, right? The way they're going to make me pay is going to have children play the rape victim because they're doing it to make me pay for what I did as a child. So when I bring up what they do to women, to children, to women who are traumatized when they're children, They go, oh, you raped me, you raped me, you raped me. Try to box it out. Stop thinking about how we torture women. Stop thinking about how we do this evil to women and children. Don't. Let us know. You who go play rape victim, you're in a program that rape and torture and does these horrible things to women and children. Never that. Then you play the justice seekers. Trashy shit. You low life fuck. You matter of fact, you using your framing to negate how you torture women and children. You are war with just reality of what you do to women and children. Fucking low life. I was pee on you. So this is what they do. Listen, let's just say the name for Quinta. That's not a real name. They would try to make me think, oh, she's traumatized, and there was like YouTube thing about she was making poetry, and you know she shows like she's like she looked depressed and was writing in some kind of like book, and it's like, yeah, I see the journaling and this and that. Because she's thinking about what she happened to her when she was like trash ass. Try to create some stories. Nope. First of all, you try to exaggerate what I did as a child. What I did was inappropriate, but it was not this thing that traumatized anybody. It's a kid doing something to himself. You just try to push it to something else. And then when I look at her videos of like when because she's a poet or something and you can see she's in this, she's talking about how like when she's depressed, she writes this. It's like, yeah, it's because she's traumatized. Now she's done. She doesn't even know who I am. Whatever caused her to depress, it has nothing to do. She doesn't even know who I am because I even sent a message to her, trying to be making sure that this trash, like, you're not going to live your fantasy. You're not going to paint yourself as an Avenger, as a justice seeker in a program that causes these things to women that you're going to hear. That's her over there having fun and everything else. I guarantee she doesn't know who I am. I guarantee she have no idea what it doesn't even recall anything. Because me, I don't even recall that when I was an older kid. And because you're just trying to make it so big, they try to make what I did as a child so worse that it will be something that trauma. Now that's an appropriate act that a kid just forget about. But I'm not gonna let that happen, because you know who's remember these things. You know who remember how they was sexually abused by her own father. As you try to exaggerate what I did to try to now that's a child doing some stupid things to himself. But you know who's traumatized from what happened to her as a child. Who remembers that? You see, I'm so thankful for all the testimonials, because the mirror that was put in their faces is so drastic. It's like everything they were trying to project onto me came back to them and boom! In their faces. Today is funny because I'm looking at her. I'm friend with her on Instagram. She's about almost 30 years old. A little bit younger than 30, but a little under 30. 28, 29, 30. I see her as a woman, an adult woman, close to 30 years old. Today, and by the way, it's not the first time I saw her as an adult. I remember when my mother pulled out pictures. Oh, yeah, look at it, all grown up. Nothing thinking. Today, when I see her, they give me stimulation sensations like, yeah, and make me think, oh, remember when she was a little girl, that's how you saw her. They give me stimulation, and we mapped it. It's like, what? First of all, she's 30 years old here, or at least 29 or 28. Then you make me think, me, when I'm in 8th grade, stupidity, this level of rewiring to make me identify with this. It's like, do you see how stupid you want me to be? It's like, now we're mapped. You see, this is a mapping. It's like trash. You make me just mentally regress, even the way you want me to rationalize things. Then one of your rationalization is the way you just make me want to accept this. Like, no, what we're doing is making you think the way you thought when you were a child. Like an adult man or woman should start thinking like the way they thought when they were kids. Like that makes sense on its own, which is not even true. You're falsifying even the memories to create this stupidity. Clown fuckers involved in a program that traumatized women and children. So on Instagram, look at her, this kid over there, enjoying herself with her friends. It's giving me stimulation of all sorts. To be like, now we match it to you as a child. Remember your fit. Woman was like almost 30 at this point. But this is the reality here. This is Megan here. A target individual who's traumatized for many things, huh? You're going to hear the testimony of this woman. This woman Today is what you call a target individual. She talks about the horrible things they do to her remotely, targeting her body in these degrading ways. They love to attack the genitals or the private parts. They like that. They like to harm people like that because it's not only painful but also degrading. They love to break down test subject in whatever ways possible. One way they like to do that is just to do degrading, tormenting tactics, even painful. Because what they do is to try to psychologically break you down, fragilize you psychologically. It's like we're test subject to cognitive warfare technology that they're utilizing this technology onto to continuously improve the tactics in this technology and so on, develop it. But one thing that's common, sexual torment is utilized in whatever fashion. If they directly harm your genitals, they will do it using this weapon system. With me, they say, no, with you, we're gonna do the real, what's the old school way? Well, not even the old school. What's the norm? Like, what's the word that you're using? We're just gonna rape you in the way that's not utilizing the modern technology. We're gonna be worse. These women are being tortured and raped with the modern tactics. With you, it's gonna be non-modern. It's like, and by the way, it's like we're gonna be doing worse in the way we torture these women and children. Never. No matter how hard, worse, or bad you're gonna torture me, if you're gonna torture me worse than the way you torture these women, you're not gonna negate their tortures. I will not allow you to think that because you're gonna torture me in the worst way, you're gonna negate that, you piece of fucking low life. For all the women and suffering that you torture in this non-worst way, I will not allow you. They're like, no, this is our portal. Because what they're doing is, I'm supposed to look at them as their gender. You know, the most disgusting part is, it's all about the participant. Anybody can participate in this. I think they call it in some of this like psychological, when they analyze people who are participating in like such a like group like atrocities, they call it, I think, banal atrocity or banal banal atrocities, but basically it's such a normalized aspect of society that anybody can participate. They normalize this horror that women, men, father, mothers, teachers, anybody can participate in this thing. It's part of the society. It's part of the norm. Even though they're great mothers, they'll be involved in something that torture women and children. Even though they're great father, they'll be torturing children and women. Even though they're teacher, they'll be involved in the program that torture children. Because the way this is created, this program, is just to make it seem like this is normal. Come. It's acceptable. So for me, as they try to paint themselves as the protectors of women and children, they'll bring up some women who's supposed to think, you see, I'm a mother. It's like, trash, you know what you're involved in. You disgusting fucker. I know what kind of people you are. I know this environment. I understand the concept of that in different fashion, obviously with less sophistication. But you think I don't know that you can go to be your best mother ever, come involving yourself in the program, torture women, make yourself act like you're so sad about it, like somebody forced you to be involved in the program to torture women. Be like, oh, we're making you pay. Never. You thought I was just going to let you normalize this thing and make you think that I'm going to be like, oh, you make me pay. Trash. That's opportunist trash. You know what this program is about. This is far from protection of any women and children. And you're not going to make me think that that's that. I know what you're involved in. I know this program is disgusting in the way they rewire the brain. I know that you're supposed to paint this as some kind of protective kind of program that protects children and women when there's women and children dying, but you rewire the brain to make the test subject, the target individual, look like he's the one who's a threat to children, and you're just observing some non-manipulative experiences. Rewire the brain day in and day out in the most degrading way possible. Then paint yourself as the protectors. Very psychological game. And then try to gaslight the test subject into identify with this the target individual. I know who put me in this program. I know it's fake that as I'm in this program, the testimonials that can validate all the foulness that you guys are part of, torturing women, torturing children, torturing women who were abused as children, women who seek justice for who abused them, all of that, I was able to clearly see it. And on top of that, finding out the entities behind this program are top tier pedos. The entities that run this program that are clearly DOD related entities have pedophilia issue that's so disturbing that a bill called S1413 was introduced, and then you send this fake ass woke lowlife who's supposed to show this feminism that's fucking perverse as fuck. Because this is not real shit. They think their gender will plug this thing up. Fucking disgusting trash. That's why people don't respect feminism for what it is today. This rage, that is fake ass rage that you try to cover up reality. You disgusting trash in a program that abuses and tortures women and children. And you think I'm going to let you go into your fantasy because you look this way and call yourself a bold, daring individual? Fuck that. To all the women, to all the children who suffer in this program, I will not let you be involved where blood of these women are on your hand because you participate in that program and play the avenging bold. You're a coward of life who is intoxicating this thing, because what this program can do to the mind and the body is insane. They truly can rewire your brain and change you. They become little gods in this thing when they're nothing. They start thinking that if you see the confidence of these people that know everything that's going to be you're going to experience because they manipulate your life, orchestrate to the T. Walking with this confidence, they have no fucking idea what's going to happen to them. But get involved in this, you will think that, oh my gosh, you walk with all confidence. Some of them can kill themselves tomorrow. Fragile, insignificant trash, but involved in a program that can do so much to a test subject, to a target individual, where the target individual is so helpless. But they, in their life, nothingness. They get involved in this, oh, they feel so empowered. Look at this helpless target individual. We can make ourselves be like so fierce and feminist, yeah, and make us talk via V2K, because they also want you to see them in these mystic ways, sounding eerie when they talk to you via V2K. I can assess this. I get it. It's like, yeah, talk to it. Yeah, you're gonna talk to this person when they torture you. It's like, I'll run to it for all the women you are torturing women. Who are they talking to? Trashy shit. You think I'm gonna give you the satisfaction of your fantasy? No. I'm gonna put that in your face. The mirror that you said earlier, that I've been saying all the time, I'm gonna put that in your face. You're not gonna delude yourself. But you come in front of me and you give me the chance to show you how much of a nothing you are, I will oblige that quickly. Never. For Kinta, for all the women and children suffering in this program, I will never let you live your fantasy. Target individuals, stay strong. Listen to the horror what they're part of. You know, the FS1 thing over there show is because they were talking about this woman who was sexually harassed at work, and she was talking about how they were talking that they were journaling or something like that. Because they were being funny in regard of like, oh, journaling is such a common thing today, that she journaled some of the harassments. It's like, oh, that's what she was doing. She's journaling. It's trash. Come up with your concept. They come up with narrative and story in your brain. They project. They even make me think of some young woman that was bringing up when some things were done to her when she was a kid by an older kid, and trying to be like, you see, that's just like her. It's like, you just taking other people's story and putting it, and then create your story of like the Avengers. This is her story. This is Megan's story, literally spoken by her, not some clown involved in the program that negates these things and try to act like they are protective of children and call it stories. Fucking trash. Target individual, stay strong.
Meet with me. Friday, the psychiatrist couldn't meet with me, and like Thursday, my phone suddenly didn't work anymore, and I don't know. really weird. And the week before that, was it? There's not much to put in here. So like late June, early July, and I showed up to it was supposed to be like an online kind of thing, and
The reality is being reconstructed by purpose that torture children and women. I will never let this low life live the fantasy.
just living life and doing things and trying to cope. Kind of went through a series of difficult things where like I had a counselor and like suddenly she wasn't my counselor anymore, and I was supposed to go make an appointment with a psychiatrist, and I had to help me deal with like crying and everything. I assume just like PTSD, just things today, stirring up feelings from times that have passed, and like really intense feelings. So I was hoping to get medicine to help me cope with it. But anyway, so I made like an appointment in like July, like late June, early July, and I showed up to it was supposed to be like an online kind of thing, and it was like just a whole bunch of bullshit. And then in the end, the person didn't meet with me, and then suddenly they also didn't take my insurance. And these kind of things have happened. Like last year, I tried for like 3 months to get a mammogram. Suddenly this year, this company, I complained about this actually to a couple of people, and then suddenly this company just happened to get my number and call me, and they were like gonna schedule me an appointment, but I was supposed to get like a mammogram for somebody who's experiencing pain, which is supposed to be like bilateral, and I'm small chested, so like it doesn't make sense to do the roller machine thing. They're like, there's not much to put in here. So anyways, I didn't end up getting a mammogram because they weren't, and then suddenly, like I had 2 or 3 physicians refer me to get mammograms in the past like year and a half. But then whenever I go to get the mammogram, suddenly it's like a walk-in facility, but then suddenly it becomes an appointment-only facility, and then it's like 6 or 8 weeks out. And then whenever I go, they don't take my insurance. So you see, this is like a repetitious pattern. And I don't know, I think it's like just something like, just like lasers basically on my body, just to try to make me look gross or something. It seems weird that would be like a weapon of war, like super strange, or things have happened. Anyway, so it's just, I was super discouraged after that happened. Like I had been staying with someone and doing work with them, and it was like I started staying with them on a Friday, and like Monday, suddenly my counselor couldn't meet with me. Friday, the psychiatrist couldn't meet with me, and like Thursday, my phone suddenly didn't work anymore, and it was just like, I don't know, it's really weird. And the week before that, was it? Hold on, maybe it was the week before that. Maybe it was even that same week. My court case got dismissed on the basis of jurisdiction. And it was like one of those things where you have like 2 weeks to respond, and if you don't respond in 2 weeks, we're gonna make this decision. Well, I had already told the court that anything they send to me takes 2 weeks to a month for me to receive it. So if you tell me to respond in 2 weeks, like it's probably like a month later whenever I get that. So I'm smiling now. It's been a rough couple of weeks. And just kind of coping with some of the things that I like, high level trauma that I deal with if I'm living in a house. of course, like sleeping in the car is super scary because I'm a woman and it's super scary. But there are things that are really scary about living in a house too, and that are hard, high level, difficult to cope with. I was talking to a friend of mine this week, and she was talking about Sasha. She was talking about like feeling like no matter what decision you make, it's going to be the wrong decision. That like you have like almost like you're forced to make some decision, but like no matter what it is, it's not like each outcome is a negative outcome. And I was dealing with a lot of feelings like that, feelings that like things have happened to me that have caused me a lot of difficulty and just like really intense feelings. But then if I try to get like help to cope with those feelings, like the same system that did that shit to me keeps me from getting help. And just like feeling like, you know, like I bought the lie that I live in some place where there's freedom and justice, and I thought that my experience was unique. And now I think that my experience is a truth and what I believed was a lie. And that most of the people that I meet live in some variation of the same situation, or in some form or fashion, where like I'm told that like even presidents get prosecuted if they commit crimes, but the reality is my government has protected my abusers and even caused them to abuse me, and that since I was a child, when I was a child. And just like feeling like those ugly, helpless feelings, like I couldn't protect myself when I was 5, and like feeling like a lot hasn't changed since then, like, and some things have changed, you know, some things have changed, but just like those feelings of helplessness, of like not being able to really help myself, feeling like I can't, like someone's claiming some kind of jurisdiction over my life so that I can't like get housing. I've worked for humanitarian aid organizations, I know how they work, and feeling like the resources are for people but not for me. And part of that is why I stopped working for humanitarian aid organizations, because I felt like I couldn't help the me that needed help. Like that person was just calling and getting answering machines if their calls went through at all. And that's what it feels like. It feels like, you know, on the surface there were people that were involved in the things that happened to me, but the reality of the situation is I was put into the care of the person who I later knew as my father. And in December I remembered being sexually abused by somebody who looked a lot like him. And I don't know, I remember being in some place, some facility, that wasn't a hospital, but I've told myself my whole life it was a hospital. And I remember when I saw his face, I kicked him in the face, and I was like 3 or 4 years old. And I don't know what would make me respond that way. And the sexual abuse that I just remembered in last December, like, I wonder if, I mean, someone put me into his care. Someone told me you're going to get a mother and a father, and only he showed up to get me. And I wonder if he did that to me before then, and they just put me right back into his hands. And that's very possible. That is very possible that that's exactly what happened. And unfortunately, I don't remember the sequence of events. My memory of the sexual abuse, like the man looked like my father, but he wasn't as tall, and that's super hard to explain. Anyways, my phone's gonna die. Deep breaths. So, yesterday I went to the beach and drank a couple of beers and just sat down there after laying in bed and sobbing for 2 hours because the private parts of my body were being burned and my breasts are removed. And just the trauma from it. Just not being able to cope with the pain and the emotional trauma that comes from someone harming me using, I guess, remote medical technology is my best guess. I went and saw a dermatologist. Hey, I just woke up after a pretty rough night. The same thing happened last night as the night before, which was whenever I was trying to go to sleep, the private parts of my body began being burned again, and it felt like someone pushing out stream. I can feel it's going to be the same again today. Already on the harming of the private parts of my body. Don't really know what to do. I tried to go to a doctor to get some kind of pain medicine because what actually happens to me, a lot of strange things. I've been doing some research, I guess what it's called, organized stalking. I'm called a targeted individual. But the abuse last night was pretty extreme. I can feel it's going to be the same again today. Already on the harming of the private parts of my body. Don't really know what to do. I tried to go to a doctor to get some kind of pain medicine because what actually happens to me, what is happening to me is my actual physical body is being burned. And so it causes me to go into shock, and it's excruciatingly painful. And I have my limitations on the duration and length of pain that I can handle. So it was a couple of weeks ago, I tried it. I don't know if the government has the right to watch and the proper in a lot of capacities of the things that I've faced. So today just feeling some pretty general fear about my own safety, because the government's burning the private parts of my body. Sometimes it feels
That was done never again. Matter of fact, they tried to recreate the.
Meet with me. Friday, the psychiatrist couldn't meet with me. And Thursday, my phone suddenly didn't work anymore, and I don't know, it's really weird. And the week before that, was it? I don't know what to put in here. So late June, early July, and I showed up to it was supposed to be an online kind of thing. And
the reality is being reconstructed by purpose that torture children and women. I will never let this low life live the fantasy.
Just living life and doing things and trying to cope. Kind of went through a series of difficult things where, like, I had a counselor and, like, suddenly she wasn't my counselor anymore, and I was supposed to go make an appointment with a psychiatrist, and I had to help me deal with, like, crying and everything. I assume just, like, PTSD, just things today, stirring up feelings from times that have passed, and, like, really intense feelings. So I was hoping to get medicine to help me cope with it.